Hey everyone, I wanted to hop on here in response to Tyler and Church Gear's podcast last week talking about pushing a broadcast mix from your front of house console. I mostly agree, but I wanted to add a few things to this and expound upon it to give you guys some more insight and information. In fact, I recommend most churches using this approach unless they meet certain qualifiers that I'll mention later on. Now, if you have a great space acoustically or you have a treated room, if you have a properly placed PA system and it's well tuned, and you have a good mix engineer at front of house, you can absolutely pull off this approach. However, for most churches, they're not trying to get the cherry on top or enhance their broadcast audience experience. They're trying to fix fundamental issues that are part of their space, a part of their PA, or even part of their engineering team. So let's break down why doing a separate broadcast console isn't always the best solution and what really matters when it comes to increasing your broadcast audio. So let's talk about the first thing, and that is acoustics of the space. If you're in a poorly designed space or not treated space, you're going to be dealing with those issues whether you're on stage as a musician or vocalist wearing in-ears, as a speaker on stage listening to wedges, an audience member listening to the front of house mix, or especially broadcast. Acoustics will bleed into every single one of those areas. And two, if the PA wasn't placed correctly or wasn't well tuned, you're going to be dealing with gain before feedback issues and your mix not translating to online. And third is staffing. Most churches can't even find one good front of house operator. By adding the broadcast console, you're adding another position that requires training and skill. And when operating with a small team that has no rotation, that's going to lead to burnout and stress. The fourth thing is that a properly designed broadcast studio is not cheap. You'll have to think about acoustic treatment, a good monitoring solution, a separate console, and the necessary components to hook it up with the other components in the system. This could range anywhere between $20,000 and $200,000 plus, depending on the gear selection. But here's the thing, is if you spend all that money to do that, and you didn't address the core or fundamental problems that we talked about, you're still going to deal with those issues even when you're operating that separate broadcast console. Now, I'm not saying that a broadcast mix position is never a good idea, but let me talk about those qualifiers that I mentioned earlier in the video. So churches should start thinking about a broadcast mix position when they start bringing in a significant revenue from the online audience. Second, when the leadership team's vision expands and gets more complex. This could widely vary between churches, but this typically looks like adding hosts, different intros, outros, different greetings, basically a separate experience for the online audience. Ultimately, my suggestion is to maximize what monitors and front of house is doing and then add more layers later on. Hope you guys enjoy. Thank you.